Let us start today's session, wisdom sharing session, with our pranams to Brahmarshi Pitamaha Patriji and Grandmaster Prabodh Achyutha and my dear teachers, my guides, my parents, and to pranams to all the dear masters who have assembled here. Thank you for this opportunity. So, friends, when we start today, let us start from the beginning as a recap. And before going to the recap, let me share with you what I heard from Patri sir some days back. There was this clipping from one of his videos that I happened to see. And there he was talking about body, mind, soul, complex. We are made up of these three complexes: body, mind, and soul. And when we die, our body goes and we become mind and soul complex. And after some time, the mind also vanishes. Then there is only the soul. And he was saying that when we are in the body itself, when we are here in this life itself, we have to become the BS complex. By annihilating the mind, we should become the body and soul complex. Direct connection from the soul. We don't need this mediator. He was saying like that. Why? Because the mind only sees what it wants to see. It will never see what is there to see. It always sees what it wants to see. So we will never be able to see the truth, because the mind always shows us what it wants to see. It perceives everything like the way it wants. We will never be able to see the truth. So when we start to see the truth, we become the truth. Then we become the soul complex. And we get the direct connection from the soul to the body. We become the body, soul complex. And this was so fascinating. And this is exactly what we are going to talk about today. So, starting from the Muladhara Chakra, if you can see clearly now, if you can see the truth, we'll be able to see whenever these chakras are imbalanced, it is like having BP, imbalanced BP. If our BP is not balanced, either we will have high BP or we will have low BP. The two extremes will be there. And we move on to these two extremes. It will not be in the middle path. So like that, whenever our chakras are imbalanced, it means that we perceive, understand things through our mind. And what is the foundation of the mind? Lower mind. The foundation, the mind is structured with the foundation of fear. Mind perceives everything with the fear. And the fear of Muladhara Chakra, when we are in the Muladhara Chakra, the fear is that there is not enough. There is the fear of lack of abundance. And when this fear is there, either we will be too greedy, we will stack everything. Because we have the fear that, what if there is not enough for me? So we will stack everything, greedy. Or we will move to the next extreme, which is, I don't have anything at all, very poor. So the imbalance happens. When the soul quality arises in our heart, in our mind, when the mind is illumined with the soul's wisdom, then we understand that we are abundant. There is enough for everyone. There is no lack. then the chakra becomes balanced. Then we come to the Swadhisthana chakra. There is the fear of change. There is no conformity. Anything can happen at any time. Everything is changing. When this fear is there, either we become too stubborn, we cling on to things, we are not ready for change. Or else we become too accustomed to anything, no individuality at all. Whatever anyone says, we do that. No individuality. And then we become guilty also. But when the soul consciousness arises, when the mind is illumined by the wisdom of the soul, then we understand that the soul likes to flow. It is courageous to flow through anything. We can embrace the change. Then comes the Manipura chakra, the seat of our power. And we feel that when it is in fear, the mind is in fear, it feels that there is no enough time. I need to experience everything. I want everything. The fear of not having enough time. Either we become too impatient, impulsive, impatient, or we become too lazy. I don't have time. What should I do? Let's leave everything. Lazy, either too lazy or too impatient. And when the mind is illumined by the soul, the wisdom of the soul arises, we become patient. We start to attend everything. Awareness comes. Relaxation. That is what we practice in Gudakesha session, the most relaxation. In Yoga Sutras, we say asana siddhi. We are relaxing and sitting wherever we are, relaxedly, comfortably. This happens. And when comes Anahata chakra, when the mind is in fear, we feel that we are under the control of fate. What to do? This life is happening like this. What is the meaning of this life? And when this fear is there, we either become a victim of life, or we start to rescue everyone. We become the rescuer. So this imbalance happens there. When the mind is illumined with the wisdom of the soul, we start to realize that we are the creator of our life. We create our own reality. We start taking responsibility of our life. Okay, everything started with my thoughts. Everything started with my intentions. So I should be careful when I intend. I should be careful what I want. When I ask for something, when I want something, what is the root of this wish? Is it love? Is it fear? What I really want? What is the meaning of life? All these questions start to come. Yesterday, as we discussed about Anahata chakra, the master said that it is the bridge between our body and our soul. This is the Manomaya Kosha, the higher mind. The lower mind is the Manipura chakra, and the higher mind is our Anahata chakra. This is the bridge. We start to have the beginning of our spiritual journey starts to happen from there. Just a beginning. We start to realize the importance of compassion, the importance of connections. Everything starts from there. Then we come to the Vishuddhi chakra. That is the topic for today. Throat chakra, or Vishuddhi chakra. This is the space of purification, Vishuddhi. When we come to this chakra, we start asking these questions. What is happening actually? Why am I in these extremes always? Why am I in these balances? We start to realize the nature of our mind. Do you know the story of Samudra Manthan? This is exactly the story of our spiritual journey. When we come to this position, the Samudra Manthan starts to happen. It begins. We start churning our mind to get the soul wisdoms. Those are the gifts that came out of the ocean. The wish-fulfilling tree, the Kalpada Vriksha, it is in our Anahata Chakra that came along with Lakshmi Devi. It is the power of intention, the Kalpa Vriksha, the power of intention. Whatever we intend with our whole heart, it will happen. So we should be careful what we intend for. Right? So all these gifts starts to come out when we churn our mind, when we start to realize these imbalances, when we start to realize these poisons in our mind. What is the poison? These fears. And our behavioral patterns that are coming out of these fears, which is coming out of ignorance about our soul qualities. So when these churning happens, first the poisons starts to come out. What do you mean by these poisons? We start to realize our emotions, our thoughts, our negative thoughts that are happening, negative feelings that are happening in our mind, and the emotions that are coming up in our body. When we discussed about Swadhisthana Chakra, I told that there are emotions. It is neither good nor bad, nor positive nor negative. These are just emotions. And we cannot vomit it out on others. Right? When we start expressing these emotions outside, people will suffer. If we suppress it, we will suffer. Then what would we do? I told you to feel our emotions. How will you feel our emotions? By witnessing these emotions. In Samudra Manthan, when the poison started to come out, what did Mahadeva do? He just swallowed those emotions, those poison, and he hold it here in his Vishuddhi Chakra. Parvati Devi stopped it here, and he became Neelakant, the blue-colored throat. This is a space of purification. You are neither vomiting it out, you are neither suppressing it, nor suppressing it inside. We are witnessing it. We are giving it a space. We are holding it with compassion. We are holding those emotions. We are holding our thoughts. We are holding our feelings. We are understanding what is happening in our mind. And we start witnessing these. Whatever is happening inside us, inside our mind, we start witnessing it, feeling it fully. But without any response or reaction to it. Fully feeling it, giving it some time. And this chakra purifies everything with awareness. So, if we take the example of Sita Devi, Sita Mata, have you read the book, The Untold Story of Sita? Such an amazing book it is. In that book, you can see, in the story, you can see that Ravana is the epitome of our mind complex, which is based on fears. It only sees what it wants to see. It never sees what the truth is, what is there to see. It never sees that. Ravana is like that. And when he captures Sita Mata and goes to Lanka, there, Sita Mata, when she tries to close her eyes and go into meditation, she started to see every negative, every bad visions in her mind. She started to see that Sri Ram is being killed in the war, Lakshmana is being killed in the war, such atrocities is happening around her, so many women are crying. She see all these visions and her mind starts to, become so agitated. Then she understands she cannot establish a connection with Sri Ram through her mind. She is not able to establish a connection because the mind is so agitated. It is not still, it is not silent. Then so many masters like Parvati Devi come and so many masters help her to get settled and go into that silence, to that stillness. And then she see clearly. All of them, all of those masters helps her to see the truth. What is the truth? Then she can see that Ravana, the mind, is playing with her, giving her all the fears, injecting the fears into her mind and makes her body and mind weak. Once she understands this truth, how? She went into silence, stillness, the no mind state, Shunyavastha, Shunya. Then she could see the truth. She started purifying her mind. The mind was purified, and then the mind became the tool for her soul to work. Then she started to use her Ajna Chakra, her commanding space, the space of her reality. She started to command into Ravana's mind, and she started to show him the truth. It is like, the truth is like the sun. And the mind is just like, the fearful mind is like a space of darkness. When the sun comes, the darkness vanishes because it's not the truth. It is not the reality. It's just a shadow. The absence of light. The fear is just absence of wisdom, absence of light. And when she started to shine, be the bright star in that Lanka, Ravana started to shiver because there is no more existence for him. Because his existence, the mind's existence, is based on fear, which is not the reality, which is not truth. So this is the space of Vishuddhi Chakra. How we purify everything here, how this chakra has the ability to purify everything by going into silence. This is exactly what we do in meditation. This is the importance of meditation. This is where the true spirituality begins. When we start to see our truth, then we become the truth. Then all chakras gets balanced. Till that time, we can do certain things to balance our chakras, but it is not permanent. But when this happens, when we go into silence and when we start to see the truth of our soul, start to descend into our mind, the mind becomes the purified tool to reflect our soul. Then in Mooladhara Chakra, we start to see the truth that we are abundant. There is no scope for fear of insecurity. We started to flow very relaxedly with life. Whatever life gives us, wherever life takes us, we start to do our dharma there. That's it. In Manipura Chakra, we start to use our power We start to use our abilities, talents to do the dharma of the soul here. Nothing to fear, with patience. In Anahata Chakra, we started to indent with the purity of our soul. The soul starts to indent. It is not the mind anymore. When we indent with our mind, what happens? Everything is personal. Everything is selfish. It is for the mind's satisfaction that we indent certain things. Suppose we feel that I want so much of money so that I can be settled, then I can do my spiritual works. It will be easy for me. This comes from our mind's side. But when we start to see the soul's intention, what is the soul's intention through these spiritual works? What does the soul intend? The spread of bliss, the spread of joy, the spread of peace, spreading peace, the wisdom of peace. We want to share these qualities with everyone. That is the intention of the soul. Then we start to intend with that wishes. And if so much of money is needed to fulfill that wish, of course, we will get so much of money. We will get a good job. We will get settled. If it is not our path, if it is going to happen in other way, that will happen. We don't need so much of money to do all these things. Sometimes, if that is the path for our soul, we will move that way without any fear. Otherwise, the mind will keep on saying that, oh, I haven't amassed so much of money. How can I start my spiritual works? Only then I can start my work. What will I do? But that is not your soul's way. See the difference. So, with clarity, we can start indenting. And for all these to happen, the purification from Vishuddhi Chakra should start happening. And for that, we have to go into silence, the inner silence. So now let's move on to the technicality, the technical details of Vishuddhi Chakra. The chakra is in blue in color. It has 16 petals of lotus. All these 16 petals are, all of those 16 petals are about the sounds, different sounds, the Omkaram sounds, the different aspects of those sounds. It is all about sound and silence. So when this chakra is imbalanced, what happens is that either we will have, it is the throat area. It is related to thyroid gland. And the karmendriya is the vocal cord. Jnanendriya is ears. The listening and speaking, these are the two qualities related to this chakra. If it is imbalanced, our listening skill will be so poor. Whenever someone is speaking, we will also be speaking inside our mind, and we will be planning what to do, what to say next. We will be so impatient to say our viewpoints or our responses to that person's speech. That is only hearing, it is not listening. So, listening is important and speaking is also important. When this chakra is imbalanced, we will have issues with our speaking skills and listening skills. And related to our body parts, sometimes cold, flu, throat issues, sore throats, these things happen. Whenever we say an untruth, our Vishuddhi chakra gets imbalanced. Whenever we cannot take a stand with our truth. What did Sita Mata do? She took a stand in her truth. Whatever Ravana shows her, however he plays with her mind, his Lanka is his mind realm, the dimension of the mind. And he was manipulating, he was trying to manipulate her mind. But once he saw that she is standing on her truth, what she is, she knows that. And she has a mission. That is why she went there. It was her creation. She created her reality. She knew that. She went there with purpose. She knew what she wanted to do. She has a mission. Before Sri Ram comes there, she wanted to show Ravana the truth of his mind. What is happening in his mind? How he is creating all these things. How he is instilling fear in everybody's mind, not love. So, when she started to stand on her truth, there was no space for fear. She became so strong and powerful that she could move on to the Aatma, the commanding space. She was able to see the truth. So, to balance our Vishuddhi chakra, always speak your truth. Have the courage to speak your truth. And the imbalance comes when there is a fear of judgment. When we fear how people will judge us if we say our truth. Suppose I don't want to eat this breakfast. I don't like it. What will my mother feel? What will my near and dear ones feel if I say that I don't like this one? But this is my truth. Such small things, even those small things, when you are not able to express our truth, this is what happens. We will definitely start having the thyroid problems, or we will always have some throat issues, or ear problems, or nose problems. These things start to come up. On the other side, on the extreme side, this is the lower side. On the other side, you will be so talkative. You will not allow others to speak. You will always you will always like to on the stage or wherever there is a gathering. You will be the dominating one who speaks. You will not listen to others. This is also a possibility, extreme possibility. You know, I will give you my own example. When I am a teacher, I'm a government employee. And during the COVID time, when everybody was asked to take vaccinations, I took the stand that I don't need a vaccination because that is my truth. I feel that this vaccination is not something that is going to give immunity to my body. It is my thoughts, my vibrations, however much I can connect with my soul, my masters, and however positive I can keep my mind and my body and my energy pure, that is going to give me immunity. This is my truth. And I believe in what nature gives me. The wisdom of our food, the wisdom of our vegetables and fruits, the quality of those plants and fruits, that gives me enough energy, the positive vibes, which can carry my body healthy. That was my truth. And I don't judge other people's truth. They may need it at this time. Sometimes I also need medicines, maybe. I don't know. I don't judge it. But right now, this is my truth. I believe in that truth. I trust that truth. Not believe, I trust that truth. I have faith in that. So I took that stand. There was so much of fear at first because everybody was blaming me. They also threatened me that I will lose my job. Of course, I got so many phone calls from my higher officials that I had to take the vaccinations, otherwise they will take actions. Everything happened. And there was this a stage of fear I had to go through. But I took the stand and stood with my truth. Once I stood with my truth firmly, all the blames stopped. Nobody called me then. My colleagues stopped telling things to me. When I was in fear, everybody was talking to me, asking me, questioning me, threatening me, scaring me, because the fear was inside me. And they were reflecting those fears. Once that fear went out from my space, it stopped coming from outside also. So, Vishuddhi is the space of purification, purification of all these fears. This is the space of the swan, Hamsa, Paramahamsa. The swan, what is the quality of the swan? The Hamsa can distinguish between what is right and what is wrong. What is truth for me, what is untruth for me. It can distinguish. What is milk and what is water. The swan can understand that. And that is the space of Vishuddhi. So this chakra is very important in our journey, in our spiritual journey. It starts from there. Until this space, the mind is there. This is the higher mind, the space of the Anahata is the higher mind, Manipura is the lower mind. And Vishuddhi is the space of purification, purifying the mind and making it a beautiful, a clear tool, just like a flute, without any blocks, nothing, just silence, so that the soul can flow through us. The soul wisdom can flow through us. The soul can use this body for its dharma. There is no disturbance from the mind then. The mind is purified. So that is the space of Vishuddhi chakra. And then when we balance this chakra, the gift of Vishuddhi chakra is clairaudience. You can hear, you can listen to the fine-tuned wisdom of the masters in meditations that we start to develop. So the more and more we meditate and go to the shunya space, the silent space, we purify our mind. We purify our chakras. Unknowingly, this is happening in our meditations. When we sit for 3-4 hours, this happens. And then this is the space where we realize our uniqueness. What is the unique quality of my soul? What is my purpose here? This question starts from the Anahata space itself. What is the meaning of this life? What am I here actually for? What is my purpose here? And the truth starts opening up in the Vishuddhi chakra. And we develop our soul qualities. We fine-tune our voice. Our voice. This is the space of expression. This is the space of creativity. Because all the soul qualities are arising and we start creatively participating in life. Creativity doesn't only mean that you will sing, you will dance, you will paint. No. Even if you cook, even if you start teaching meditation, you will have your own style. You will add your own creative ways to share your knowledge, share your wisdom in this world. Everything have your signature touch from this space. When the space is opening up, balancing, this happens. So we have to move beyond the fear of judgment. Even if you have the fear of what will people say if I say things like this, if I cook like this, if I drive like this. We have our own special ways. What if people will not understand what I am saying here? If I take class in this way, what if people will not understand? I will have such kind of fears, fear of judgment. But when I show the courage, even if I have this fear, I will do whatever that is needed here. When we take that step, when we start to take that step, this chakra starts to open up. Everything will be balanced then. Your throat issues will vanish. Your thyroid problems will vanish. Start to speak. Start to express. Not only speak, expressing in various ways whatever we want to express. When we speak about emotions, the more we meditate, the more we can witness our emotions. And the more we can witness, we will not express it without any filter. Sometimes that happens. Without any filter, we immediately start pouring out our emotions to others. We will not do that. We will start witnessing it. And we can feel that emotion all through our body, but we will have the courage to go through it. That is what you mean by witnessing. Every flavor of that emotion, we can understand. And when it gets filtered, then something we express out from our mouth, from our throat, it will be a gem. We will only express the essence of that emotion, whatever is needed to express. Sometimes we will tell people that I don't like it. I don't like the way you told me. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm sad. Give me some time. I'm in anger. We will have, the maturity to say these things. We will not blurt out all the emotions. It will get purified here. This is the beauty of this chakra, Vishuddhi chakra, the chakra of Nilakantha, who had the courage and compassion to hold every poison without hurting oneself and without hurting others. That is how we develop our strength to move on to our commanding space, the Ajna chakra. From there, it is the soul. From here, it is the mind. And our Annamaya Muladhara is our body. So what did Patriji say? Become the BS complex, body and soul complex. The mind should be like the flute, without any block, just free tool, so that the soul can work in the body. So, to understand our truth, it is very important to listen to our heart. What the heart says, at what the mind, what the head is saying, there is a distinction. The Vishuddhi can understand the distinction between these two. When the mind is speaking, there will be fear. Every decision you check whether it is based on fear or whether it is based on courage and love. It is based on the higher good for all. Then you will understand whether our heart is speaking or the head is speaking. Who is speaking? The soul always speaks in the language of love, courage, not out of fear. This distinction, if you want to listen to this distinction, you have to be silent inside. The inner silence is important. And for that, we have to meditate a lot. Keep the silence. The inner chat, inner talk should low down, should become so low, and at some moment it will get muted. No more talking. This is the loga of masters, Janaloga. All the masters, all the higher masters. This loga starts from here, Vishuddhi Chakra. The loga of Janaka Maharaj, Rajarshi, all the Brahmarshis. So, if we want to listen to the wisdom of those masters, we have to be silent and speak. Have the courage to speak when it is needed, when the soul asks us to speak. Suppose I got the call to attend this webinar and take a wisdom sharing session. The soul is asking me to do that, and I got a chance to do this. If I have a fear of judgment, I back up. I say, oh, I'm not ready for that. We all still have these fears. But even then, the more we meditate, the more our soul pushes us, and we will have the courage to hold hands of our soul, our Sri Ram. Then we will be able to do our dharma here. So that is the wisdom I wanted to share today. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, now you can ask or share your wisdom. Please feel free to comment. You can also open your videos. Whatever you are doing there, it's okay. It's completely fine.
Hi, ma'am. Very good morning. My soul namaskars to all the masters. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, ma'am. Really, it sounds very simple, but yeah, finally understood. We need to meditate a lot to actually practice on that. Like, to stand on the truth, really, we need so much of courage, and that comes only when we have sufficient wisdom. Not simply saying that this is truth, but why we are saying that also we should know. We will know when we receive wisdom, I think. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for giving your time and sharing your wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, our wisdom is needed, and before that, awareness is needed. Awareness is very much important. The more we meditate,
Yeah.
we are, whenever we do Divya Mangala Dishti, or whenever we, especially throughout our day in Gudakesha, we are asked to relax our body, keep our body relaxed. How will we do that? We have to be aware, right? We have to be aware whether our hands are too much tensed, or my heart is converged, or is it relaxed, whether my stomach is relaxed, whether I can easily breathe in and breathe out, then the awareness is there in the body, right? And when we do this Divya Mangala Drishti in our daytime also, we will be aware what kind of thoughts am I having in my mind. If I'm having a negative thought, or a thought of sadness, or a thought of judgment towards others, can we smile at them?
Yeah, we can't.
With truth? No, right?
Yeah.
So at that time, in these moments, we are developing, we are cultivating awareness. The more aware we become, the more we can understand our truth in each moment. Suppose I'm with my child. When I come back from my school, I'll be so tired in some days. And when he comes to me, and when he sits with me and talk to me, sometimes I will not be able to fully give him attention. Suppose I'm not able to give him attention, and just to keep him happy, I'm just smiling at him and saying 2 words or 3 words to him. And I think that maybe he will be happy. But that is not my truth. I'm not standing on my truth. And what happens? Children are gods. They will definitely understand our energy. They feel our energy, not our words. We cannot deceive them with our words. That is not at all the truth. They will always understand what our energy is. Children and animals, they will understand our energy. So ultimately, he will be sad because I am lying to him. And will I be happy with myself? Because I'm not standing on my truth. So instead of that, if I feel that I am doing this to him and become aware of that, I can say that Amma is a little tired. I will go and take a bath and then definitely come back as soon as possible. And we will sit and we will talk together. We can have some talk together. You can say these things, right?
Yeah.
We should have the courage to say that. So each moment there is a truth before us, what our truth is. Right now, the truth of my body and truth of my soul, the truth of my consciousness. We can check these things, and the more we do this, the more open our Vishuddhi chakra will become, the more creative we will become. This chakra is the space of spontaneity. We will have the courage to act spontaneously without any fear. We will not go back. We will do as our soul says. It is said that the intentions of the soul, or the wish, the desire of the soul, the intention, desires are in our lower chakras. It is the intention in the higher chakras. The intention of the soul first comes in the Vishuddhi chakra. If we are silent enough, we can understand that wisdom and we can act according to that. When we come to the stage, actually it is like driving our vehicle. Just check if you all are driving any vehicle, you can understand this. Are we controlling our vehicle, or are we directing our vehicle? At first, when you start to learn cycling, we try to control the cycle. Then what happens? We will become imbalanced because we are controlling, we are fearful. Once we are out of that fear, we start to balance. We just have to direct that vehicle. The vehicle have a kind of a balance. We just have to direct it where to go. The soul is directing us. We just have to move according to that. We don't have to control this life with our mind. The mind is trying to control, but the soul is trying to direct us. And when we become silent, just like a flute, we become a beautiful tool, the vehicle. Yeah. Thank you for that question, Jasri ma'am.
This yesterday from one great master, I heard that what is consciousness means energy plus wisdom plus awareness. I think what you said, you need to have sufficient wisdom to speak something, whatever, like we said, to stand on the truth. We know that is truth, but to stand on that and to express it, actually, we need to have sufficient wisdom. Then only, without any judgments, without any fear, we can say that.
We should
And
have the
you
courage.
need to be aware, and you need to be aware of what you're saying.
Yes.
That all is everything is consciousness.
So beautiful. So beautiful. Thank you. We should
Yeah,
have the awareness to understand our truth
awareness. Yes,
and have the courage to express that wisdom.
to express that wisdom.
When we
When we
express
have
our truth, it becomes our wisdom.
wisdom, yes, knowledge when it's experienced and when it is shared, that is wisdom, right?
Yes.
But we are having knowledge, but when you stand on that and when you share it, it'll reach people the way it has to be reached.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Then, that was one great master. And that awareness, actually, Deepak Chopra says it's like energy plus wisdom. But when awareness is also added, really that's a great thing. And that awareness we're achieving Gudakesha. Gudakesha, we achieve awareness on your thoughts, on your words, on your actions, everything. And that is the ultimate thing. When you're aware of your thoughts, you are creating your reality by your thoughts. So when you're aware of it, you intentionally make proper thoughts, proper reality you create. That
We become
I
the hamsa.
understood.
We become the hamsa. We
Yes,
become
yes.
aware of our thoughts. Which thoughts I
Thoughts.
want to make a reality, which thoughts I have to discard, which is water, which is milk, which is good
because
for
we are
me and
aware.
others.
Yeah,
Which is not good for me and others, which is good for me and
yes,
others. That thoughts, we can
yes,
give energy to those thoughts, we can make it a
yes,
reality.
yes.
When we create,
Yes.
then we become conscious creators, conscious co-creators of this life.
Yeah.
Otherwise, when we are in the mind level, we are unconscious creators.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Your chakras functioning without
Yes.
though you're aware or not, your chakras function. But when you're aware, they function properly.
Correct.
Like that. Yeah, but
Thank
nice
you.
to hear from you always, real. I learn so much from you always. Thank you once again, and lots of gratitude to you for sharing your wonderful wisdom. Despite your busy, you have given your time. Really, thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Bye.
Any other sharings, masters? Otherwise, we can move on to 1 minute meditation and we can close the session today. So please close your eyes and 1 minute meditation. Relax your whole body. Become aware of your body. Become aware of the silence inside you. Take your attention into the silence inside you. The silence inside and silence outside. Wherever our attention goes, our energy flows there. And it will grow. Give attention to your silence. Relax into that silence. Last 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Rub your palms together. Place it on your eyes and slowly open your eyes. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my wisdom with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We are really happy to hear your wisdom, and thank you so much for your wonderful session, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.